Hey guys, and welcome to my call out video for DE season. Big reason I'm doing this map is because my CVO team's going to be playing it in this coming week, so I wanted to get this out there so they could see it. But as always, if I'm making it for them, might as well put it up for YouTube for everyone else. Things are a little bit different. I have a webcam now. I'm trying to do the whole streaming thing, but it's not going to work. But I already bought the webcam, so might as well use it. For this map, callouts are pretty much based off of what you see in front of you. It's not too difficult, really isn't. So we're going to go ahead and start off by running this direction. This will take us towards A site. So a couple of things is you have to be very clear about A site or B site on just a few of the calls that have duplicate names, just so if you have multiple people on the field, you don't get them confused by your callouts. So if you're coming up these stairs, this is CT stairs right here. It's beginning of stairs to the top. CT stairs and to CT upper. So this part of the door to that part of the door is CT upper. It's specifically CT upper and not just upper because this whole area is upper. You want to make that distinction because if you see a CT holding up here and your T pushing onto site, you want to be able to tell your teammates specifically that he's in this corner or back here in this hallway trying to get some picks. So CT upper, upper through here, and then right around this little bend is horseshoe. This whole thing right here is horseshoe. It's real common for people to hold this angle and try and play off that area over here, which I will call in a bit. If you come down onto A site, there's two areas that we'll call on this wall, one right there and one right there. The one right here is called green. Sorry if you're colorblind, but this whole area, all these little plotches like that, and that, they're all green. But this one specifically is called green, and then this one right here is called Sandbags. Now, when you're coming on to A site to plant, I always try and plant sandbag. It's good cover from a couple of spots, but the biggest thing is it's a great place to play once you've had the bomb planted. What I personally do, and my team has seen it before, I plant the bomb there, run up into this room here, and you just hold off the person trying to hold it. If you have the bomb over there, you have to really peek wide, and that opens you up to too many people. Continuing A site calls, this one right here, this is called quad. Quad, this whole little box area is quad. And then this one, it has a different name, but I find it a lot easier to call it just single. So quad and single. Over here, this is pit. This whole area under this is pit. And then up here is on the bridge. This is cat. This walkway through here is cat. This is cat box. Can try and hold off on an angle like that. If you're walking through cat, you see this lone little tree. This is called cubby. Cubby is through here. Now, I'm just going to go quickly back through to CT spawn to just show you the other little passageway that'll take you onto A site real quick. So back through CT upper, through stairs, on CT. So if you run straight out of CT spawn's over there. Gotta itch my eye. Run through here. If you go straight, this will take you through short A. Boom, you can hold that angle, hold some angles. Short A. And then, now this is another spot you can go through. If you go wrap around this way, this will bring you out onto mid. And generally you want to be watching this spot right here because that's where the first area where the terrorists are going to more likely than not be popping out of. Something that I really recommend for my team that we always do, and it's a really great thing to do just on pubs, but always send two people mid. One person holds here and they're the opper, they'll hold this spot and just keep control of mid, and then the second person comes through with them, but they just run across. The thing that they do together, as soon as they come out, they throw their HE grenades right over there, and then they do it together, so you get just a little bit of a nade stack. I personally as well, I'm always the guy that rotates off mid right in the beginning, but I like to throw a molly as well, because if there is somebody there, molly is going to keep them trapped. So you can have me instead of running all the way through to B site or falling all the way back to A site. That molly will give us enough time to recall if I should stay or not. Now if you come through here, through mid, this will bring us through jail. This area through here is jail, all the way through up until here. Now there's a couple of areas that are specific in jail. This one right here, this one is called vents. Just this little room. No one ever holds this because it's just not very great. People can see right through it. And you can actually see into vents of the room. So just be cautious of that. And then right over here, this is cage. I remember in an earlier build of this map that the gotta turn off these Facebook notifications. Sorry about that. This little area in a previous build, these glass walls were actually indestructible, so you could just hold here and kind of see somebody. It wasn't great though because they could still see you. Now in this version they're breakable, so just be careful of that. And then if you fall through jail, that will lead you into B site, which we'll come back to a little bit later. And back through jail, back through mid. A couple areas in mid that I like to point out. As a terrorist, they will run through this area, come through there, which I'll call in a bit. But up here, I like to call this Grove. It's a very good area to know because know a name for, because a lot of times I've seen it happen where somebody will be pushing through up here and try and peek out like that, or maybe if you're holding down in here, they'll try and peek up and over you. So Grove is this little area, and then alternatively on the CT side of things, I like to call this side Planter because you're looking over the planter box. And then right over here, this is vents. This is vents right in here. If you break that, that has a passageway all the way into B site. Generally, you don't have to watch it as a CT early on because it will take them some time to rotate through, but that is something to be aware of. Don't forget about it. We're going to run back through a short, land us onto A site, and then bring us back through bridge, catwalk, and out through catwalk. There are two places. A left takes you to mid, right where that box is. Now we're on the terrace side of things. And then on the right side, this is Squeaky right here. Boom, boom, boom. Squeaky in here. If you want to call inside this room, you just yell inside Squeaky. Yell it, scream it, whatever you need to do. Down this ladder is aptly named ladder. So we'll drop down here. And this will bring us down into this room over here, which is called Subway. Subway isn't really used for any kind of holding or positions during the map. The biggest thing is for if you're trying to save, you'll be running into this room and trying to hide. Because if you fall all the way over there, that jumps us out into T-spawn, which I will show you. I'll show you real quick. It's got these little pillars that are good to hide behind if you are trying to eco. So back up here, and then right around that corner where that truck is, that is T-spawn. So when you're running through T-spawn, there's a couple of areas. Down here will take you to Subway. Up here, this is locker room. Locker room aptly named because of the lockers. And then up here brings you to mid. On the T side of things, two calls that are really important, and this is T stairs. Actually for CT side as well, because you need to call if somebody is T stairs. So T stairs, locker room, and over here, this is just simply named box. You like to try and jump across, maybe just get a couple smokes off to create a wall. Do whatever you need to do to get behind box and get over to A site. Now we're going to go back through Squeaky. Sorry if I'm jumping around a lot in this map, it's just the nature of how it's laid out. So this is, shoot, you know what, I know this one has a name, but I never like what the name is. It is CT Subway. Actually, I don't know if this one has got A steps is what they're calling it, but I don't like that. This is called A long, just simple A long, because it has just a quick little path. If you're coming out as a T, you'll be running through here. You can run up the ladder and jump out this window here. Well, really, it just is wasting time on your half. The only reason you need to go up that ladder is to get into Squeaky room. So running through here, this is going to be A long. and then that peeks you out right onto horseshoe here. They call it A steps. I guess we could call it stairs, but I just don't want to get it too confused with the CT. So A long is a good name for this one. A long, and then we will jump back up here, come out all the way at mid, running back through past box, down T steps, past locker room, past T spawn. Now if we're a T and we're running onto B site, we're gonna come this way, run, 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 run. This doesn't have too much of anything. This is just a big open area, and then right through here, this is the T side entrance of the vents. If you run along here, you can come all the way through. Something to note is there are these two fans that you saw in jail earlier. These are completely spammable. The only thing that's not spammable is this little crossbar that holds the fan in place. But this fan itself you can spam right through without having any damage drop off. I've seen it played before where people try and hold through and try and get a rotator or something like that. It's not always the best spot to hold though. If you run through here, this is called connector, and then leads us into two different places to get to B. So connector dumps out onto the first one I'm going to call, which is turnpike. Turnpike starts here and comes all the way to right there. It's really common firefights positioning because the CTs can jump all the way into this room and hold one of these angles that they prefer as soon as the T's come up. I've seen it held a lot, a close angle like this, so make sure when you're coming through as a terrorist to always just give that a quick spam or give it at least a quick check. Now if we come through this way, this will bring us to outside. There's a ladder, drops you up, and that brings you onto B upper B, all the way through here. I came up with this call. This is called milk carton, or milk crate, sorry, milk crate, because this is something that I really like to hold when I'm trying to save, or if I'm like late in the game, you're trying to catch some rotators. You can hold this angle because it's not checked very often. You really have to go out of your way to check it. There's a milk carton and an actual crate, so milk crate. If you come on to B site, boom, 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 there are, I like to say 5.5 places that have calls on this map. The biggest thing is sorry, real quick. Alright, sorry about that. There are 5.5 places on B site that you can name. Sorry, you should know callouts for. First one, and this is the biggest, is these boxes right here. This is called triple. Triple right through here, it just around here. It's really common for people to hug this and plant just because it gives you protection from different angles and different corners, things of that nature. Now I like to call this stack. There's this side of stack and there's this side of stack. So that's where that half and the 5.5 callouts on this map are. I like to call this close stack no matter where you are. If you're coming from turnpike, this is close stack, and if you're coming from jail or that other area I'll call in a bit, it's still going to be close stack. So this is always close stack. This is far stack, the opposite side of it. If you come over here, this is janitor. This one right here, this corner of the room is called trash. This corner of the room over here is called fire. And that is B site. It's pretty simple, but it does have a lot of different little corners, nooks, crannies. So when you come into the site, you really have to be cautious and scanning the whole room to make sure no one's sitting in this corner. You do have to be aware of these two pillars. They have numbers on them, but I never have the time to call them by the number, and it's never really worth it. So you just call close or far pillar for that situation. Now, where I'm going to take you over to CT spawn and finish up to the last calls really quickly. If you come into CT spawn, you're generally going to have one guy go to the right and one guy go to the left when you're holding B site. If you go to the right, this is B short through here, and then B long up here, B long. speed line will drop you up here. I personally like to hold far back in this room. You don't really get as good as shots off on these guys in Turnpike, but what it allows you to do is have your teammate bait them out, and then you pop out and try and get the guys trying to push B upper. That is my callouts for the map, DE season. It's pretty simple once you start getting into play it, but it does help if your team knows different rotations and smokes and places to hold. Real quick for strategy wise, always 2A, 2B, and 1 mid. I really wouldn't change it off that structure. B is really easy to take as a terrorist, but it also is really easy to take back as a counter terrorist. So if you have a full team up, I always try and recommend going A first. But the thing is A is really hard to take and alternatively take back. Not alternatively, same, whatever the word I'm looking for is. Always be sure to send the 2 guys mid, even if you don't think that they're going to be running mid. They're going to have a lurker. They're going to have somebody trying to run mid. Maybe there's a guy who's just absent-mindedly keep on running, and it's always good to just get that a couple grenades off. I can't tell you how many times I've pulled up my damage log in my console and seen 1 HE grenade hit all 5 enemies, so it's really great. Other than that, guys, keep a lookout for the rest of my videos.